Welcome back, folks, to Investor Diaries. Shortly after we published our last video on an analysis on the MP Materials stock, on October 26th, there was a short seller report that came out on MP Materials and the stock took a massive hit. We'll put a link in the description to the last video as well as the short seller report that came out shortly after. Now, the question that we got was there any meat to report? Now let's find out in today's video.
At the first look, the biggest allegation is that MP's biggest customer, that is Shenge, is controlled by China. However, if this were true, and we have not independently verified this, we doubt that the US Department of Defense would have invested in MP Materials.
We also like the fact that MP Materials has provided its rebuttal to the short seller report in a series of tweets. Now, while MP Materials is wholly dependent on China for processing, its management has clearly stated that its near-term ambition is to move away from this dependency.
Current MP bulls are betting on the company being able to use the profits being generated from the sale of rare earth concentrates to China to fund the capital expenditure of both of its Stage 2 and Stage 3 plans.
Now, this should see MP Materials evolve its current profitable mining activities to downstream integration of its rare earth materials into high-strength rare earth permanent magnet. This would restore the full magnetic supply chain to United States.
Now, if China decides to engage in anti-competitive behavior to undercut and eliminate global competitors, then it would spell dooms for MP Materials. This was one of the major reasons why the previous owners of Mountain Pass Mine, Molycorp, went bankrupt. Bears frequently bring up this specter of the Molycorp bankruptcy as a reason as to why MP Materials is a target for shorting.
However, we'd like to point out that this analysis is not a straightforward apple-to-apple comparison. Why is that? Well, the current economic, political, and investment climate is completely and materially different from the Molycorp days. The critical importance and inevitability of global transition to electric vehicles and renewable energy are a lot more set now, with the explosive growth in ESG investing being one of the structural investing trends in the last few years.
Now think about it this way. Rare earth magnets, they are a fundamental enabler towards our society moving towards zero carbon. Back in 2014, it was not quite clear that electric vehicles would take off in the way that they've actually done. Neither did renewable energy stocks enjoy the same amount of sentiment, hype, and popularity that they do in 2021.
Critically, this means that the companies operating in the space, which is producing and mining rare earths, enjoy access to much cheaper capital than they did 7 years ago. MP Materials went public via a Chamath Palihapitiya-backed SPAC, which saw the company raise $545 million in gross proceeds.
Important to note, the company was able to snag $9.6 million from the US Department of Defense to establish US-based processing for separated light REEs. REEs is actually rare earth elements. Access to capital is actually what determines if a company dies, survives, or thrives.
And it's incredibly disingenuous for bears to bring up false comparisons to Molycorp as a justification for why MP Materials will fail. And indeed, the current annual production of the mine is 3.2x that of the days of Molycorp.
Let's talk about financials. The company reported some very impressive and robust numbers and stats in Q3, and it easily beat analyst expectations, and as a result, the stock just jumped.
And let's look at some of the highlights from the third quarter. So MP Materials achieved record quarterly production and sales volumes. The revenues more than doubled year on year to 99.8 million, and which is up 36% sequentially.
Adjusted EBITDA was up nearly 6x year on year to 68.3 million, which was up 47% sequentially. Strong cash from operations continued to fund capital investments, including Stage 2.
And there has been a continuous progress on the Stage 2 optimization, and the company expects Stage 3 location announcement by the year end.
Speaking of numbers, let's talk about analysts now. Additionally, the company seems to be winning a few more bulls on Wall Street. As an example, Bank of America analyst Timna Tanners reinstated coverage on MP Materials with a buy rating and a price target of $52.
And some of the comments from the analysts was that the price objective of $52 per share was based on an 18x 2023 EBITDA estimate. The 18x multiple is roughly a 25% premium to Australian mining company peer Lynas Rare Earths, and it's closer to the current next 12-month EV by EBITDA premium. Through 2021, MP has traded at an 83% premium on average. The 18x multiple is well below high-end pure-play electric vehicle commodity suppliers, which is at 21x multiple.
Bank of America sees MP Materials as a unique US equity exposure to a critical raw material, that is rare earths. MP Materials is headquartered in Las Vegas and owns and operates Mountain Pass in California, the only scaled rare earth mining and processing facility in the Western Hemisphere.
Now let's look at another analyst from Jefferies, Lawrence Alexander. Alexander started out with the buy rating with a 55 price target for the stock.
Alexander said that MP Materials is well positioned to evolve from a provider of rare earth concentrate and soon refined NdPr into a fully integrated magnet producer and eventual recycler.
We've already discussed briefly about NdPr in a previous video. NdPr is a significant rare earth magnet that is used in everything ranging from electric vehicles to wind turbines. NdPr stands for two elements, neodymium and praseodymium.
Alexander went on to say that the company has enough cash flow and cash on its balance sheet to execute its growth plan. MP wants to go from being just a miner to a vertically integrated producer of products that ship to motor makers.
Now, not all analysts are bullish. Benchmark's analyst Subhash Chandra called the company one of a kind in his research report, pointing out that MP is the largest rare earth producer in the Western Hemisphere, accounting for 15% of the world's rare earth element production.
Even then, he actually started with a hold rating because he thinks that the stock is expensive. MP is trading at about 17 times his estimated 2023 free cash flow of about $467 million.
Now, in his comments, he does not have an official price target. All he alludes to is that he wants a better entry point for MP to be investable. Now, a look at some of their peers also see that a lot of Wall Street analysts feel pretty good about the MP stock.
With the two new analysts that have been added in, 6 of the 9 analysts are giving it a rating of buy, which is 67%. Now mind you, if I look at the average small cap stocks in general, then the average buy rating is at about 65%, whereas in case of MP Materials, it's marginally higher at 67%.
So mind you, Happy, MP Materials still has an above average rating from the Wall Street analysts, despite all the negativity around it, despite the short seller report, despite allegations that China has a huge presence. So it must say that MP Materials is doing something right. As you can see, the average price target is $47.
Again, this is not the first time we are talking about MP Materials on this channel. We continue to be bullish because we understand the business fundamentals that MP Materials has, and we support the company, and we feel that the stock has a lot of room to grow in the near future.
Folks, so we continue to be bullish on MP, especially being a supplier to the electric vehicles space and with this renewed focus on the ESG investments.
And that's a wrap, folks. Please let us know if you are as bullish as us on the MP Materials stock in the comment section below. And until next time, thank you so much.
Thanks, everyone.